Welcome back, everyone, to Conspiracies, Snacks, and Tinfoil Hats. I'm Connor.
And
Hello.
I'm Avalon.
And I guess what?
Did you add that koala to your mic?
Oh yeah,
I like it.
my little koala. It's because I've been rearranging all this crap back here, and I found it. I was like, where am I going to put this thing? Switch to my mic.
That's a good spot.
And today's conspiracy that we're going to be talking about, King Tutankhamun.
Tootandcockin?
Tutankhamun. Ew.
I'm glad you said it. I was thinking it. But
What's funny is I thought you were going to say it, and then you didn't.
Tootandcockin? Ew.
First off, how are you doing? How's your period?
It's over. Hallelujah.
Oh, okay, good. I was
Well, at
wondering.
least, I think it is. It's, on the last day. So it's, it's over, but then sometimes it's, just kidding.
Do you want to
But
talk about it? How bad it
I'm
was,
not
since
I'm
be
not
relatable
losing
with our.
ounces and ounces of blood, so
Yeah.
that's fun.
Just being relatable with our listeners. Have you gone to your appointment? Didn't you make an appointment?
Yeah, but I had to reschedule. But it's next Thursday, and I'm
Okay.
not rescheduling that one.
Do not reschedule. Why did you
I
have
had
to
to
reschedule it first
reschedule
time?
because I scheduled it on a Friday for some reason. So I wasn't able to leave work early.
Oh, I see.
Whereas now this time I will be able to leave early to go to it.
Deal. I mean,
But I'm really
makes
scared
sense,
and
I
I'm trying
guess.
not to think about it.
I'm just clicking on things in our.
No, you're good. But yeah, I
Oh, I see it like
survived
that.
that horrible period. Um, I will be asking about that at my
Yeah.
doctor's appointment.
Fun. We love dealing with adult
And work
problems.
is awful. I want to throw
Is your
up
boss
every
still out of
day.
town?
She's gone till Monday. No, she gets
Oh,
back Tuesday, technically.
ew.
And I need her. I didn't think I needed her until this week.
It's like you don't necessarily need her, but you just like the backup. You like having someone to
Yeah, because
commiserate with.
I want to exit this participant so bad, but I just don't have the guts to do it.
Oh,
Because
ew.
mostly I'm scared she's gonna get aggressive.
I think you should.
No, I had a very stern conversation with her and now she's listening. So I'm
Oh, okay.
hoping that's what was needed.
I'm proud of you. Proud of you. I need to go to the doctor and get some Xanax or something. My anxiety's through the roof, but we're gonna make it through it. We're gonna
We're
get through it.
I have a concert on Friday, so that's what I'm
And
living
what, in
for at
two
the moment.
weeks we have Ariana
Is that in
Grande, two and a
2
half.
weeks?
It's like 2.5.
Oh, that's so
I know.
exciting.
I
But
think
after that,
it's
I have no Oh, wait, no, that's not true.
you fucking live in LA. You have concerts there all the time.
That are expensive as hell.
Not all of them. I mean, the big people, yeah.
A lot of them.
But at least you have the opportunity to go. Where I have to go to either Seattle or down to you. So
Yeah,
screw you.
that's true. Sorry.
It's fine.
Sorry.
But yeah, it'll be when this comes out. What, I think it's 12 days until Ariana Grande. Is that not insane?
I'm
This comes out on the
so
2nd.
excited. Don't even
12
know.
days from the day this comes out, which this comes out in
I'm so
6
excited.
days.
And I
I'm so
looked at our
excited.
seats again, and we have pretty good seats.
Hell yeah, that's all on you.
Not
Good job.
good seats,
Everyone, give Avalon a
but
round
for
of
what
applause
we
for getting the
paid for,
tickets.
I'm happy.
Also, what? I thought I was going to say something else, but I don't remember. I don't remember. Oh, single dropping. She's dropping a single on Friday. Are you excited?
I forgot about that.
I cannot
And it
wait.
looks like Justin Long is in the music video.
Oh, really? I don't know who
Yeah.
that is. Who's
Yes, you
Justin
do.
Long?
Yes, you
I do,
do.
but who?
I don't know how to describe him. He's literally
Hold on.
everything.
He's in everything. What's his name?
Yeah.
Dustin?
Justin Long.
I'm looking him up really fast so that I
No.
can have a conversation.
He's in
Oh, yeah. I know this guy.
Barbarian.
Yeah, okay.
He's in more famous stuff, but that's the first thing that comes to mind.
What's funny is he isn't everything, but I cannot think of a single thing he's in. Like,
I
I
just can
couldn't be
think of
like, oh,
Barbarian.
see, in I found stuff. He's in Creepers, Drag Me to Hell, Afterlife, Tusk, House of Darkness, Barbarian, It's a Wonderful Knife, and Goosebumps. That's
He was
just
also
on.
in Not How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. What is it? He's Just Not That Into You. He's in
Oh,
that one.
see,
I
and
hate that movie.
oh, why?
I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Nice, nice, nice. Should we get cracking into this? Or
Yeah,
we?
should I show my snack?
Oh yeah, I got the same thing. Well, mine I got were sour, but what do you get?
You told me to get gummy snakes, but I couldn't find gummy snakes, so I just got gummy worms.
I mean, we can pretend they're snakes. See, and I got sour, and technically mine are the off-brand, so they're sour squirmers.
Ew!
Gross.
That's the nastiest thing I've ever heard.
But they're from Maverick, so they're good.
Yeah, this is a brand I've never tried before.
And they're
Extra
actually pretty
good.
sour. So like, ow.
I debated getting sour and decided to just get regular.
I like sour. Oh,
Pretty good.
I don't want to do this.
I'm so ready because I just get to listen. And I brought
I know I hate
fidgets
you.
so I could pay attention.
I do want
Also
to do it.
got
I had a lot of fun researching it.
Baja Blast.
What the hell? I want a Baja Blast. I got water. I was going to get a soda too, actually, but I was like, no, because then I'll be burping. And I can't. I'm telling the story today, so I can't be burping.
Let's hear a story.
Oh, okay, let's get into it. We've got, we are going back to the Egypt. So not last
We're
month,
going
but the
back
last,
to the Egypt, guys.
bitch, I will kill you. I'll actually kill you today. Don't try me.
You do
I'm
not
pissed.
want to see me angry.
You do not want to fight me today.
You do
That's
not
how-
want to see when I go alpha.
I kind of do, actually.
Do not. Do not make me angry.
Oh, that was actually too good. Thank you. I needed that.
You're welcome. You may continue.
Okay. So we're back to Egypt. We are going back in time to even further. So last time I looked up all this stuff. Last time we were back and we ended up finding out that it was around the time that supposedly Jesus was born.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We are going back to around the time that potentially was like Moses-y,
Okay.
if we're going Bible
I know
times.
him.
I know him. So we are in what is called the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt. I did a lot of research. I found out dynasties they divide history into like bloodlines. So like if a family like father son inherits things, like if it starts with like someone comes to power, there's usually some kind of a struggle, and so like the beginnings of the dynasties are kind of iffy, and then a dynasty is just like their bloodline. I'm like, I didn't know that before, so that was something I learned. So we're in the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt. This is and so then I also looked up the age of when like the pyramids were built were like third and sixth dynasties. So we are
This is
still
way after.
This is way after the pyramids. And have you heard the fact that like Cleopatra lived closer to our time than she did to the building of the pyramids? Have you heard that?
That's crazy.
Is that not crazy? So yeah, so we're back again, but still
God, we're
hella
back again.
hella after building the pyramids.
Okay.
I think this is again me just speculating. I think next time I do a conspiracy, I'm gonna do building of the pyramids, and then we'll
We've
wrap up the
already
ancient
done
Egypt.
that.
No, we haven't done building the pyramids, have
Yes,
we?
we have.
When?
I looked it up and I'm pretty sure we have. You can
Mm,
look and make sure, but
I don't think we have.
I
Who
think we
did
have.
it? Did you do it?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll double check. Um. So wait, hold on. We had. Um. So yes, and then Moses was supposedly during the 18th or the 19th dynasties. So
Oh,
ish,
same time.
ish. And I guess there's a
Where
lot
did
of debate
people
on when
go?
it was because people think that potentially, like Ramesses was actually like Ramesses the second, which he was like the second pharaoh of the 19th dynasty. So that would have been like 50 years after King Tut, from the research I did. So,
King
but
Tut.
before we get to King Tut, we first have to talk about
Married
Pharaoh.
with a donkey.
Huh?
I was singing the Trisha Paytas song.
Oh. Also, I love that her K-pop song. I love that she's gone into
Sarang
K-pop.
Hey.
Yeah, I love it.
Sorry,
Um,
I'll stop interrupting.
no, please interrupt because otherwise I feel like I'm just reading to you. And but I'm also gonna try to like I don't want to read it to you, so I'm gonna also try to go off my memory. And we all know how good my memory
Ooh.
is, right?
Right.
So first we're gonna before we talk about King Tut, we have to talk about Pharaoh Akhenaten.
Akin Akhenaten. Is that the one from Night at the Museum?
You know, I don't know, but actually, maybe
Or is that Akin Ra?
that's like it's like Akin Ra. It ends
Hmm.
like I'm pretty sure. So Pharaoh Akhenaten was originally born Pharaoh. Well, he wasn't Pharaoh when he was born, but Amenhotep the Fourth.
Hmm.
But he did this thing that a lot of like men with power like to do. He decides to kind of start his own cult. He becomes a cult leader, and that's when he changes his name to Akhenaten. And because he's Pharaoh, he also makes pretty much all of Egypt join his little cult.
Naturally.
And what it pretty much his name like means something, and he picks this like god Aten, and it's kind of like a form of Ra, so like the sun god. And he says there's actually only one god, and it's Aten, and he is like supreme god over all other gods. And it's debated on whether he pushed that there were no other gods, like a monotheistic, like this is the only god, blah blah blah, or if there's another term for it, but pretty much where this god is like god of gods kind of thing. And that has
Ultimate God.
yeah,
The Alpha
he,
God.
the alpha god. You don't want to see Aten go alpha. So I'm gonna get struck. Aten, please, please. I can't be cursed. Um.
He's not real.
So that's don't let Akhenaten hear you say that. He'll have you killed. Fuck. So Amenhotep decided that as he progressed with his reign, that just like there was one pharaoh, there should only be one god, and it was the supreme deity. So for about 20 years of this, he slowly turned Egypt towards this one god Aten. He persecuted those that worshipped any other gods. He closed many of the traditional temples that celebrated like the gods that we know, like Ra and Osiris and stuff like that. He also decided that since he was so special, he's going to move the capital city from Thebes to a new city that he named after himself, so Akhenaten. Uh,
Creative.
and yeah, right. So he like textbook narcissist. I am God kind of person.
Nepo baby.
Nepo baby, which the as we've learned, like the theory with like pharaohs is that they are actual descendants from the gods, like they have
Yeah.
god blood in them. So he actually thinks he is pretty much this aspect of Aten. So After there's actually not
I
a
think
ton.
I think this is. I literally, as you've been speaking, I'm like, why does this sound so familiar? I literally think this is the plot of The Mummy.
Honestly, it might be. I haven't. What's really funny is I was doing this and I was like, I should watch the Mummy before
No,
I.
it literally is. Yeah,
Yeah, it probably is.
it
So
is
I believe
about
you.
whatever the fuck his name is.
Akhenaten. No, and what's funny is I'm
Akhenaten
gonna go
and
watch.
Imhotep.
I planned on watching. As you know, we were supposed to record this on Saturday,
Yeah.
right? And I said I can't do that, but I was like, I want to watch the Mummy before I do it. I had all those plans. I finished these notes at 2 a.m. last night,
Connor.
so
Well, now you
I
can
we
watch The Mummy.
I know, but I should have watched it before because then I could know for real if this is the plot.
I'm
Anyways,
almost
because I
positive.
haven't seen the Mummy. The Mummy. I remember watching the Mummy for the first time. I was probably 4, and my brother
Yeah.
loved the Mummy, and it scared the absolute shit out of me. The stupid bugs crawling under the skin. Hated it. Hated
Yeah.
it. So like I know it's a really good movie and I have seen it, but I still like every time I'm like I should watch the movie, I'm like I get kind of like anxiety about it.
That's fair. I just watched
So
it recently and it was my first time in a long time too.
I
Like
know, and I want to
I watched
rewatch
it when
it.
I was little and then never again. I need to watch Return of the Mummy,
I know. I
but
want to watch all of them because isn't
they're just
what's
all
his
so
name?
hot.
Isn't what's his face come back and they're doing another one?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So it probably is the plot of the Mummy. If it is, everyone, I'm sorry. Just go watch the Mummy instead of listen to me. Anyways, but there's actually not a lot super known about Akhenaten's reign because after he, and we'll talk about a couple of pharaohs after him, died, one of the pharaohs went through and there's this Latin phrase called dominatio memoriae, which is like a condemnation of memory where they pretty much tried to wipe him from history because this time was seen as like heresy against the gods
Can
because
I do that
he
with Donald Trump?
God please hopefully after something big's got to happen with him first and then we can worry about that. Moving on. So Pharaoh Akhenaten is potentially thought to be King Tutankhamun's father. However, he
Mm.
could also potentially be his grandfather or his uncle.
Oh.
Yeah. When
Why don't they know that?
because because of royal bloodlines, inbreeding,
Oh, his mom
this
was a
condemnation
whore.
of of memory too does a lot. So there's lots of debate because there's DNA evidence that when they found King Tut's mummy, that there was another unidentified mummy that was found to be his father, and people think it's Akhenaten, but it could have also been this other potential pharaoh called Smenkhare, who was potentially a co-regent with Akhenaten for a couple years, but he's also kind of wiped from history. They don't really know what happened to him, if he reigned a long time with Akhenaten. It's just like it was so long ago, and they
Yeah.
don't know for sure. So some people think that his father was Akhenaten. Some people say that it was the Smek these
Smeconomics.
yeah, whatever. Think it's him. And that guy was potentially either a brother to Akhenaten or a son. So that's where it's like his grandpa or his
Brother,
uncle.
uncle, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Husband, wife.
and their DNA evidence does say that potentially this Akhenaten or King Tutankhamun's parents were siblings, which either then means that Akhenaten like fucked his sister or fucked his daughter, or
Ew.
the Smekhare
Smeconomics.
was Akhenaten's son, and then he also married one of his sisters, that kind of thing. So
Yuck.
which
Stop
and they
doing
did
that.
So I guess a lot of so I have a lot of sources. I spent a lot of time on like 17 million Wikipedia articles, including like the 18th dynasty of Egypt, Egyptomania in the United States, Tomb of Tutankhamun, Smekhare, Demosio Memoria, Akhenaten. So there's a whole bunch. But then I also listened to the Unsolved Murders podcast and So Supernatural about this. And they were talking about in those podcasts about how because of the royal bloodline, like every royal bloodline, they don't want commoner blood. So incestuous
Mm,
relationships were very common.
yeah.
So Pharaoh Akhenaten is a religious fanatic and he moves the capital. And they've been doing different religions, all these different things, and he finally dies when Prince Tootandcockin is age 8 or 9. So we're not Tutankhamun yet. Tutankhamun
Tutankhamun.
was born Tootandcockin, uh,
Ew!
and we'll talk about
Tootin,
when he.
Tutankhamun and Tutankhamun is gross.
So we're gonna talk about where he gets that name change. He decided he was gay, and that's where this whole thing
Okay,
changed for him.
Tutankhamun, guys.
So obviously, when the pharaoh dies and you're 8 or 9 years old, you have the full mental capacity to be able to run a nation, right? Like that's
Yeah.
just something an 8, 9 year old can do. Like you're like, yeah,
8-year-olds can do a
they're just
lot.
like they can make those military and like political decisions.
Yes.
No. So insert two men, one named I and one named Horemheb. I is the name of
His name's just I.
AYI. So
Okay.
so I is the name of an advisor that was potentially also advisor to Akhenaten and potentially also Akhenaten's father-in-law. Again, family trees,
I
their
hate this
family
family tree. It's
circles,
worse than Once Upon
family
a Time.
wreaths. I know. And it feels like that. It's okay. So we're going Once Upon a Time and also Game of Thrones. Those are our two TV
Yeah.
shows for this episode. So I is the advisor, and he is also known as the vizier of the king. So he's kind of like varies from Game of Thrones or like Jafar from Aladdin.
Yeah, I was thinking Jafar.
So, and then Horemheb is the commander in chief of the army during King Tut's rule. So, and potentially it is thought that these two were the ones that were actually running the nation while King Tut was 8 or 9 years old,
Okay.
using his signatures and stuff. Now, King Akhenaten dies, King Tut takes over, and the people are mad. Egypt was going through some struggles, and they were seeing it as a curse from the gods for King Akhenaten changing religions. So one of the things the 8-year-old decides to do is like, wow, my father was just really wrong, and I think we should go back and establish the rule of our previous religion, right? Like that's just all thought processes 8-year-olds have, and like I want to bring back all these things. I don't want the wrath of the gods upon me. No, so someone's making these decisions, but
I think he did.
You think he's just like, yes, we're getting
I
rid of.
support Tutankhamun.
Well, we're gonna get to where we support him later, I think. It is also then King Tut marries his sister,
No.
which happens again.
I thought he
It
was
is
gay.
again. No, that comes in later. Remember, I said he finds out he's gay and then changes his name. So he marries his sister. It is thought it was proposed by Unsolved Mysteries that I really liked. That again, like I and Horemheb sat pretty much these people down or these kids down and were like, hey, like this is actually safest for you because otherwise Tutankhamun someone's gonna want to marry him, and also the sisters, like you get to be the queen regent and those kind of things. So like obviously that decision was almost probably made for them.
Yeah.
So about 2 or 3 years into Tutankhamun's reign, they're trying to undo all these things that Akhenaten did. And they decide that they're going to move to the capital city before Thebes. And when they move, they're kind of shunning. This is where they first start getting rid of Akhenaten's legacy. They go back to Thebes. Tootandcockin changes his names to Tutankhamun, which I also was listening to a podcast where they pronounced it Tutankhamun, and I didn't like that. So
It's like Tootandcockin.
yeah, I don't like it. So this is where we get his namesake for today. They are pretty much trying to undo everything his father did. So his wife or sister his name is Ankycinnamon. Cinnamon? I don't know.
What the
Cinnamon?
hell are these names?
It's so hard, Avalon.
Ankycinnamon?
That's something like that. So I and Haremheb probably are telling these kids, hey, we got to, undo some of this political unrest. Let's get you back here. Let's try to establish like the rule as it was. They have them married. They're going to go back to the original pantheon of gods. But the Unsolved Murders podcast took liberties and was probably like, in these kids being so young, potentially also probably might have still worshipped Aten a little bit on their own as like memoriam of their father, and that's what they were growing up in, because there were some references to this Aten god in King Tut's tomb later. So it's kind of thought maybe they still kind of kept some of that familiarity, while I and Haremheb were like, no, we got to do what's best for the nation. So Avalon, what is needed though to ensure the bloodline of a monarchy or pharaohs?
Incest.
Not incest. What does every king need?
A queen.
No.
An heir.
An heir. They don't give a fuck about the queens, Avalon. Remember, this is ancient Egypt. They need an heir. So they need children, but sadly King Tut and King Anke, their first two pregnancies, Anke gives, and Anke they used in her name in Unsolved Murders, and I'm taking it too. But she gave
Ankycinnamon more.
I'll start saying Ankycinnamon. She had several stillbirths. So
Oh.
yes.
Anke.
So Ankycinnamon was having a rough time. This could have potentially also been due to just inbreeding of the royal family, as incompetency tends to happen. But they're trying to have children. And then at the age of 18, King Tut unexpectedly dies. So
how old was she trying to have all these kids?
I don't know her age. But King Tut was only pharaoh for around 10 years.
Oh, rip.
Rip, literally.
Rip
So
Tutankhamun. Wait, you didn't explain that.
Oh, no, he was born Tutankhaten, and then when he decided to move back the capital city to Thebes, they changed their names to Tutankhamun, and I did say that.
Tootandcockin.
Yeah, Cockin. No.
Wait,
Common.
it's not Cockin?
No.
I legit thought it was Tootandcockin.
No.
What is it?
Tutankhamun. That's what we know.
Oh, and then you said Cumin or whatever.
Yeah.
Cumin.
I thought you were understanding this was just a play on his name. Not his name wasn't actually Tutankhamun.
Well, okay.
Okay, wait. That's actually really funny though, because that's going to be interesting because we are going to come back and talk about his cock later. So keep that in mind. What?
His foreskin.
No, not necessarily just his foreskin.
Oh, brother.
So the king dies. Pharaoh dies.
18.
At 18, there is no child. There is no heir. So what does this mean for a queen, Avalon?
She's in charge. Or they kill her. Or she has to marry another brother.
Okay, your first answer, I need you to remember this is ancient Egypt. So,
sorry, I'm
options 2 and 3 were closer to what happens. So, Ankycinnamon does not want to marry a commoner. She's like, okay, my husband's dead. There's no one else with this like royal blood. I'm gonna have to marry someone with less royal blood than I do, and she doesn't want to do that. She's like, I'm that
Oh,
bitch. I'm
she's a
her.
racist.
So kind of. So at this time, Haremheb, chief of the armies, he's designated as the Iri Pot, which is the heir presumptive. So pretty much he's supposed to, like, if anything happens, would become the next pharaoh. But he had lesser blood than she did. He was actually a commoner that moved up through the ranks. And so she was like, hell no, I'm queen. So she decides, you know what? A queen... Please excuse some brief technical difficulties. We thank you for your patience. So, depending on where the recording stopped, Haremheb is lesser than her. He's the heir presumptive. So she's like, there's no way in hell I'm marrying Haremheb. I need a prince. So she writes a letter to their enemies, kind of political rivals. They're not really at war or anything, but kind of this other king. And she's like, hey, my husband died and I have no kids. I am potentially in trouble. I want you to give me one of your sons and he will become pharaoh and pretty much have all of Egypt. And then I get to also marry a prince, all of this different things.
That's a good
so
deal.
It's a great deal. So obviously this king's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I don't trust this bitch. So he sends an envoy back to like go and confirm all this thing. And there is this, I don't remember exactly what it was, but they were talking about how, I want to say there's like 60 days that they have to bury the old pharaoh. And at the time, the person becoming pharaoh also is supposed to like do certain rituals during that. So she has kind of a time limit. So the envoy comes and is like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're going to offer Egypt to your rivals or whatever? And she's like, yes.
She's like, I'm that desperate.
I'm that desperate. Give me one of your sons. So they go back. This king, his name's Superlemia, and he's a Hittite. Again, all these
Superlemia?
Superlemia. And then he says, you know what? I'm going to give you my son Zenanza to go be your husband. It's one of his younger sons.
Finally, a normal name.
Right? I kind of like Zenanza too. So Zenanza leaves to travel to Egypt to marry the widowed queen. However, as he's crossing the border into Egypt, Zenanza is killed.
Ugh.
So,
how?
That's the question. Who has the most to gain if the queen can't marry Zenanza? So I wrote, oh no, Queen Anky's plan for royal blood falls through. Guess who's the only one left to marry? Not Haremheb, this old fuck, potentially her I.
Oh, come on, dude.
So I becomes pharaoh. He marries Queen Anky.
Just like that? That guy didn't have more sons?
Who? No, they had to. Remember, there's a time limit. So Zenanza's killed. He marries Anky. They bury Tut. I is pharaoh. He's also old as fuck. Remember, he was the vizier for potentially.
So it literally is like Jafar and Jasmine.
Yeah.
I low key kind of shipped Jafar and Jasmine.
Low key.
That one scene.
The whole scene where she's in the hourglass
gave me the butt tingles.
Yeah, we should do a podcast episode on Disney.
Does that give us the butt tingles?
I was just gonna say Disney scenes that probably should have been
like sexual awakenings for us.
Yeah, we should do that.
Oof.
Anyways, moving on. I becomes pharaoh, and so he's the one to oversee the ending of King Tut's burial. However, due to King Tut dying very early and suddenly, his royal tomb that obviously they pretty much begin making as soon as someone becomes pharaoh was not finished. So they placed him in another tomb that was likely built for another member of royal blood, but not original. Like, it's not like a pharaoh's tomb. I did read somewhere that potentially this was originally built for because he's an old fuck. So, but they pretty
Mm.
much kind of like make it a little bit nicer. They get in there, they try to like do a bunch of shit to make it like kind of nice, but they have to bury him. So they proceed to put Tut in there, close up his tomb, and Pharaoh Ai begins to erase all of the memory of King Tut from history. This is partly due to Ai is so old that he knows that he's gonna not live for very long. So pretty much all these things that like there were statues in temples that were being built for Tut, he's like just put my face on them, like so
Literally, like when Ramesses did that.
yeah. So it's pretty much I being like, fuck this kid. I'm Pharaoh. He didn't even live that long. He's probably like, I
I
ran
made
the
all the
country behind him
decisions
anyway,
anyway.
blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. So he's like, I don't give a fuck about this kid. So yeah, everything kind of that was being built for Tut, he has Tut's face removed, and he commissions them to put his face on it. So there's literally like temples that are supposed to be built that the people are supposed to be able to visit, and it's supposed to like sustain their souls in the afterlife. Tut,
Hmm.
it pretty much is those temples are never built for him or like changed. And then 4 years later, I dies, and he also
Karma.
has no kids. So guess who becomes pharaoh?
Harambe!
Harambe, Haremheb, becomes pharaoh, and he kind of continues on with what I was doing, but I think it's kind of proposed that he thinks like, from Akhenaten to I was one big shit show, and he's like, we're gonna just forget about that time in history. So he starts removing all of I's face from
So that's why we
history.
have like no records of
So
anything.
yeah, Haramheb is kind of he's like the last pharaoh of the 18th dynasty, first pharaoh of the 19th. Like, depending on
Damn.
some say like this one's the so and this is where that like Latin phrase of the trying to get rid of the memory comes from. Is he tried to
Hold on. I want this chair to go up. No, keep going.
hello?
Keep going. Keep going.
No, we can wait.
How do I make it
I
go
think this is more
up?
fun. I'm also gonna leave this whole thing in so everyone can just watch you struggle
No,
with this chair.
please. Please, no.
Please, no.
Oh, I was like, why does my back hurt? It's because I'm so fucking low to the ground. Okay, continue.
Okay, so throughout all of that, King Tut closed, like when the doors of his tomb are closed, his name is pretty much lost to history for over 3,200 years. Gone.
How did they find it?
We're going to talk about that. So we are going to talk really quickly about a few possible deaths, like the causes of death for King Tut, because he died unexpectedly at 18. The first one is when they found his mummy that, they did lots of tests. So they found that in his DNA, he was tested positive for lots of like repeated infection mosquito bites that carried malaria.
Oh,
And so
shit.
potentially they think he had a weakened immune system, could have gotten another mosquito bite, and that could have killed him.
They could do tests like that on a body that old?
Yeah, because he was mummified. Because he's a mummy. Like his body,
That's
and like even his body was not as
crazy.
preserved as well as it should have been, but like his body was
That's
preserved.
crazy.
So they were also doing testing, and they found that he had a leg fracture. He suffered a compound leg fracture not long before his embalming. So again, testing that they can find this out. So originally they thought that maybe like this fracture happened when they like found him, but they went in and they found like the embalming material was like in the thing. So he could have potentially broken his leg and then had
But died from that?
and died from that, or it's more potentially combined with the malaria thing. Like he broke his leg, it got infected, and because of all the malaria mosquito bites, he had a weakened immune system that then he died.
Gotcha.
The leg fracture, and then also it is thought that he could have maybe been club-footed, so like his feet went in.
I have
And people
that.
think this mostly, one, because it's just known of the inbreeding of his family. Like, they can't tell from his mummy that he was club-footed. But then they also found 130 varieties of walking sticks in his tomb. So again, it's like, did he break a leg? Was he club-footed? Why did he have so many? However, people say that these walking sticks weren't actually walking sticks, but more like scepters, and that was kind of more of like a fashion choice. So think like
Yeah, like
a pimp with a
Jafar and
cane. Yeah.
his snake thing.
So again, we don't really know. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about it in a minute. But the other option is that he was murdered.
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun.
By
And who has the most to gain if the pharaoh dies? So
that guy.
So, ancient Egyptians were typically known to be buried with all of their belongings. So grave robbing was typically a problem. And one of the ways that you could potentially argue to get people not to rob the tombs is to, of course, put a curse on those that enter the tomb.
Yeah.
So, one of the curses, again, I don't know, I feel like I put this paragraph in the wrong spot, but we're going to talk about the Pharaoh's curse as well. So we're talking about potentially his murder, but there has been, like, this is evidence in other things that they have found. There is while in King Tut's tomb, there wasn't ever like a curse necessarily found yet. There was one that was on another grave that said, "Cursed be those who disturb the rest of a pharaoh. They that shall break the seal of this tomb shall meet death by a disease that no doctor can diagnose." So that is on an actual tomb. Anyways,
that's crazy.
We're now going to jump 3,200 years into the future to the 1920s.
1920s, like after God?
Yes.
Or BC?
No, after God.
Oh.
What? The 1920s. Like,
yeah,
100 years ago.
1920s BC.
Yeah, there was 1920 BC, but no, we're doing the 1920s. The Roaring 20s, after World War One. That's where we're at.
Okay.
Because we got to bring in the World Wars at some point.
Oh, fuck.
So we're going to talk about George Herbert, the 5th Earl of Carnarvon.
He's got the worst name of them all.
This guy marries a lady. This lady also had 5 names, and I literally refused to write them all down. So I didn't even write down her name. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to that woman.
Women don't deserve names, honestly.
So it wasn't worth it. But she was supposedly an illegitimate child of the Rothschild family, which is like, I don't know if you've heard. I didn't know who they were, but they're a super rich banking family. I feel like I've heard the name, and so I knew it was a big name. But super rich banking family from the UK. Okay. So when he marries this lady, the Rothschild family pays all of his debts and gives him £500,000 at the marriage.
Bro,
and this is in the 1920s. So how many pounds do you think it was £500,000 in the 20s today?
How much is that today?
And we're going to do pounds, and then we're going to convert that to dollars.
I don't really know the pound to dollar conversion, but I'm going to say now it's worth like 1.5 million pounds.
58.3 million pounds. So, and
that's a lot of money.
Pounds to dollars, that's $78.5 million. So
how can I find that?
He marries this girl, gets all of his debts paid, and then also given $78.5 million. So
he's set for life.
On top of it, guess what house they live in? That big ass UK house. Not the White House, you dumb bitch. The house from, do you know the show Downton Abbey? I've never watched it, but you know, like,
no, but I know the house.
That house. That's the house he lives in. Fuck this guy. Anyway, fuck billionaires. He's pretty much a billionaire.
Hey, any billionaire children out there want to marry me?
Good luck.
I'm really cool.
You're like, fuck the billionaires unless you want to marry me.
Unless you want to marry
I can forget about it easily.
Eat the
Um,
rich unless they want to marry me.
so this guy's loaded. He decides, what can I do with all this money? I'm going to fund excursions to Egypt so that I can get all this cool stuff and entertain people with parties at my Downton Abbey house.
He sounds like a cool guy.
Honestly, it'd be if I was
Like, at least he's using his money for something cool.
well, is it because it's pretty much just the British taking everything from the Egyptians? So, I mean, white,
Oh, I
you
didn't think
know,
about that. Why'd you have to
yeah,
harsh the mood?
sorry. Gotta keep it real. We can't get too yay
And
billionaires
now I'm
here.
sad. Thanks.
So, anyways, he got permission to start exploring the Valley of the Kings, which was this whole valley in Egypt where a lot of prestigious Egyptian people were known to have been buried. He got that the permission to start digging there in 1914. They didn't really find anything, and then it was paused a little bit. Let me burp. It was paused for a little bit for World War One. So it's now 1922. Nothing's really been found in these years that hadn't been found previously. So he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. Enter Howard Carter, who's been working for him. They're talking. He's like, hey, you know what? Just give me one more year. One more year. This is the guy actually doing like the excavating in Egypt. The other guy's just the bankroller. So Howard Carter convinces him to do one more year of paying for him to go digging in the sand. And so Carter goes back to Egypt, and he's worried that he's going to run out of funding, but he decides to dig near these line of huts that they had previously been working on. And these huts where Egyptian workers would stay while they were working on other tombs.
Projects.
So they've kind of already like excavated these areas. He's like, we're gonna start looking in this area again. So they start doing that for a couple of days, and then there's a couple different accounts where some say the workers were just digging beneath the remaining huts that were there, and another says that this discovery that happens was actually from a random boy that was there that was digging outside of the assigned work area. But ultimately they find this like top of like a step in the ground, so like stair steps, and they're like, shit, what's down here? So they start clearing the steps away. They get to the top of a covered doorway, and it's covered with a couple seals and hieroglyphics, and they're like, oh fuck, we found something. So Carter knows that they're about to discover something sensational, so he runs back and he telegrams Lord Carnarvon, Downton Abbey guy, to get his ass to Egypt, and they actually wait for him to get
that's
there,
nice.
which is crazy.
I mean, he is funding it.
So Carnarvon arrives. Carter. Oh, so they find the tomb. Wait. Hold on. I'm reading this, but also telling you off my memory. Okay, so Carnarvon arrives. They re-clear the stairs, and Carter is using they get to, and they do a small chisel that his grandma gave for him actually at the age of 17. I thought that was a little fun fact.
Oh, that's cute.
So they make a small hole. They're finally able to kind of break in and kind of peek through. And Carnarvon's like, what do you see? So Carter wrote about it in his books, and I just want to read his words. So it says, quote, with trembling hands, I made a tiny breach in the upper left-hand corner. Darkness and blank space, as far as an iron testing rod could reach, showed that whatever lay beyond was empty and not filled like the passage we had just... Oh, this is actually... So they get in a little bit. They get in. They see, there's what is it called? The entrance chamber. So it's not like the burial chamber. There's the antechamber. So they see that. And then, hold on, I'm messing this all up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are.
So they see in there, it's kind of cleared out. They can see that there's been robbers before. And they're like, there's been grave robbers in here before. So they're kind of worried about it. So they're supposed to kind of wait for the Egyptian authorities to now come because, or they're prepping them because as they go in, if they find like sealed things, the Egyptian government's supposed to come in and help catalog everything. Gotcha. So they break into the antechamber. They find another sealed door. And then actually before this happens, they're kind of, checking the antechamber. They haven't gone through the door yet. And then that day, one of Carter's assistants, Arthur Callender, was walking by Carter's tent, and he hears like a some kind of a cry out from like some kind of an animal, and he runs into Carter's tent, and inside, Carter had a pet canary, and inside the cage there is a cobra that has gotten into the cage and is eating Carter's canary.
That's the power of Raw.
That's the power of Ra. And symbolically, the cobra was known to symbolize Egyptian royalty. So, was the cobra eating the canary just a random coincidence, or was it an
No,
omen
it's an
that
omen.
Carter had disturbed the royal peace of Tutankhamun?
Definitely an omen.
So, anyway, so we get to the part. So they are now looking into this burial. They're trying to look into the burial chamber. So, this is where he starts. With trembling hands, I made a tiny breach into the upper left-hand corner. Darkness and blank space, as far as the iron testing rod could reach, showed that whatever lay beyond was empty and not filled like the passage we had just cleared. Candle tests were applied as a precaution against possible foul gases, and then widening the hole a little, I entered a candle and peered in. Lord Carnarvon, Lady Evelyn, who is Carnarvon's daughter and came with her, and Calendar standing anxiously beside me to hear the verdict. At first I could see nothing. The hot air escaping from the chamber caused the candle flame to flicker, but presently, as my eyes grew accustomed to the light, details of the room within emerged slowly from the mist. Strange animals, statues, and gold. Everywhere the glint of gold. So they get into the burial chamber and it's filled with stuff.
Eureka.
Eureka. So, and then I thought I put the quote in here, but I didn't. But supposedly Carnarvon's like, "Do you see anything?" And he says, "Yes, many wonderful things," because he's seeing all this gold.
Aww.
So the next thing that they were supposed to do is again stop, let the Egyptian authorities come in, and start cataloging everything. But then there's this like open rumor that they ultimately kind of like broke into this chamber, and Lord Carnarvon, his daughter, and Carter go in to make sure that it's not actually looted, and then they kind of like reseal it before the authorities get there. And that's kind of a big
Tea.
no because it goes against the papers that Carnarvon signed when he got permission to dig here. But it's pretty much like one of those things where it's like a rumor, but like people really believe they did it.
Yeah.
So, but like illegally, kind of like allegedly, they did this.
Allegedly.
So, this area of Egypt, the Valley of the Kings, is known quite a bit for just like flash flooding, as well as high heat because it's in the desert, which then also then means when it rains and then gets really hot, lots of humidity, which can decay quite a bit of items in the tomb, so they are like super brittle and like kind of warped and things like that. And they also notice that everything is kind of covered in like an unidentified pink film, so kind of like mold. So they get into the tomb. Within the first month of breaching the tomb, Lord Carnarvon, the guy who's funding everything, is bit by a mosquito on his face. I'm gonna burp. As he's living the life with the mosquito bite, he nicks it again, like shaving and stuff. And I'm like, this literally happens to me all the time because I get attacked by mosquitoes. However, this mosquito bite gets infected and ultimately leads to him getting sepsis, and then he dies of pneumonia within 2 months
God.
of the burial chamber being breached.
Wait, this is who again?
This is Carnarvon, so he's the guy funding.
So the guy who funded. Oh, that sucks.
So
He didn't
this
even
is
get to
again
show off
is
his spoils.
he's also one of the ones that snuck into the pharaoh's tomb early.
We don't know that. That's alleged.
Allegedly snuck in to the tomb's burial chamber early. And so he dies within 2 months. And then there's some fun reports that he dies in a hotel room in Cairo. So he's still in Egypt. It's like he's there for the unburial. dies in the, and then with the day he dies, all the electricity also went out in the city, so there was like a blackout. And people say that when he died, the family dog also howled like in anguish, and then also died. So,
Whoa. Was the dog also in Cairo or the dog was in the
no, I think
UK?
the dog was with him. I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
my god.
So obviously,
Tootandcockin.
they just opened the burial chamber of an ancient pharaoh, and the guy bankrolling the thing dies, and so this explodes into a media frenzy. Yeah, everyone was already freaking out about this mummy that they're finding, and then the guy funding it dies. So publicists in the United States and everything are writing papers on him, and then they include pictures taken from the tomb. And then in these pictures, there's hieroglyphs on the wall that in them they are translated to, and it says, "They who enter this sacred tomb will soon be visited by wings of death." Isn't that crazy? And people are losing their minds over these pictures, which
Oh,
is
why did
crazy.
he only die?
Well, it's crazy that people are losing their minds about this because it was also totally made up by the journalists to sell papers. Those hieroglyphs don't actually say that.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Ugh. Not
So
something I would believe.
it's something I would believe too. So a month later, obviously everyone's losing their minds wanting to see the tomb. A tourist and railroad tycoon, George J. Gould, visits the tomb. And then after he visits the tomb, within 2 weeks, he also dies of pneumonia. The same thing that technically killed Carnarvon. Two guys dying of the same thing within
5 feet apart because they're not gay.
5 feet apart because they're not gay, not like Tootandcockin.
Yeah, when are we getting back to his cock?
I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in here. We're going to come back to the mummy in a minute. We're talking about the curse right now.
Okay, the curse.
So,
The curse.
another archaeologist that was assisting with the digging had a feeling that this curse was following him. Why did I not write his name? I remember looking up this guy a ton, and I can't remember what his name is. But anyways, in 1924, he is struggling with mental health or something, but he writes a note in his own blood that says, "I have succumbed to a curse which forces me to disappear," and then he hangs himself. So that was about 2 years after the thing. In 1926, so about 4 years after the discovery of the tomb, Aaron Ember, who was present during the excavation and working, he's back in the United Kingdom. He's working on a book that he's calling the Egyptian Book of the Dead. He's having a party. He has a lot of people over, and he's showing all these things that he like brought back from Egypt. And during this party, his house catches on fire. The fire spreads so fast. He is worried about this work that he's doing, the Egyptian Book of the Dead. So he runs back inside, and in the fire, his wife, and his daughter all perish in this fire.
Oh my gosh.
All the members of the party felt that it happened really, really fast. He was at one point just kind of showing them all of his Egyptian stuff. Then the house was on fire, and they were dead. So, about 5 years to the day of Carnarvon's death, another archaeologist dies to a lung infection, pneumonia. And then during an autopsy, they found that his death was actually not from the pneumonia, but rather arsenic poisoning. But they couldn't figure out how he was getting poisoned with arsenic.
What the hell?
In 1929, Howard Carter, the main archaeologist, his
I
personal
was gonna ask
secretary,
about him.
so we're going back to his personal secretary, Richard Bethel, is found dead in his hospital room due to natural causes, or so they think, because his room was locked from the inside. However, during an autopsy, it is found that he was suspected that Bethel was smothered to death. After his death, his staff also then reports to the police that there had been several fires on his estate since Bethel had come back from Egypt with souvenirs from the tomb. So like his life's just kind of been a shit show.
Hell.
His death then haunts his family so much that Bethel's father then jumps from a 7-story window, killing himself as well.
Okay, well that's kind of on him.
So
I don't think the curse caused that.
his father. No, so then
So
you look at
Carter.
the curse. So Carter lives. He's
What?
fine. Yeah.
What did he do to be immune? Did
It
what's his face's daughter die?
Nope, she lived too. Although they were taking it so seriously that she offered her husband a divorce because she thought that the curse was coming for her and that she didn't want him to be like a
Did he do it?
no, they stayed together. So
Oh,
maybe an act of true love keeps
that is
them
true
safe.
love has broken the curse.
Okay. So that's again, was it there a Pharaoh's curse or was it just kind of
Do
some
you
people
believe in
died?
curses?
Um, that's a really good question. I feel like yes. Like I feel like more like a karma because there's like a whole thing where like I wasn't going to get into it, but like Carter and Carnarvon got into this whole different like argument with the Egyptian government because pretty much if they like find anything, they were supposed to get 50%. Like if they find anything that like had been previously touched, but technically because King Tut's tomb was fully sealed, the Egyptians were supposed to keep everything. But they like then they were like selling rights to the New York Times and they weren't allowing like the Egyptian press to like see things. And so I do feel like sometimes there's like karma, like you're an awful person, so you will get what's coming to you. But I don't know about like actual like curses. I don't know. What about
I
you?
think I do believe in them.
I kind of feel like I'm cursed sometimes.
Like I feel like I want to believe in them because sometimes I want to curse people.
What if we change this podcast to just learning how to do witchcraft and cursing?
Kaylee would definitely teach us.
Kaylee,
Kaylee
I
says
want to
she's
see.
done a hex on someone before.
Did it work?
I don't remember. Or maybe
See,
she's just threatened.
I feel like she's got to show some like substantial that otherwise
Yeah,
I
I
could just
need
teach
evidence.
myself.
I mean, the Etsy witches, we know that they work.
Here, no, they don't work because otherwise something big would have already have happened that we were talking about at the beginning
Yeah,
of the show. So
but
they don't work.
maybe it's not like with curses and hexes, it's not like 100% at the time. Like, what if people are doing counter hexes?
I actually was just
Then they
reading.
cancel each other out.
I just listened to a book. I don't remember what it was called. It was pretty good. It wasn't my favorite book, and so I wouldn't really recommend it. But it was about witches from Mexico and like kind of like these three.
I was reading
One
here.
this it's this grandma who's it's her story in Mexico, and then it's her granddaughter who's doing graduate school in New England, and then another lady that went missing that's kind of like in between, so it's like three generations stories all in one book and how they
Is it
kind of
called the
like
Book of Witching or something like that?
I don't remember,
Because I
maybe.
think I tried reading a book like that and I got bored because I hated
And
that it kept jumping.
no, here's the thing, I listened to it and I know if I was reading it I would not like it. I liked listening to it, but so it probably was, but it was so like, and at the same time again it wasn't my favorite book, like it's not gonna be like you have to go read it, but now
Yeah.
that I finished it, it was very interesting to read and just like I don't know, like the different
Learn about hexes and
beliefs
curses.
about witches and magic and spells. Okay, so they find Tutankhamun's tomb and it actually takes several years or seasons to excavate everything. So when they finally get to his sarcophagus, the sarcophagus has three layers. The innermost layer being made of solid gold, and then the mummy itself measured just over 6 feet, and then it had a ton of like a gold mask, necklace, and other jewelries kind of like woven into like the bandages and stuff. But then the bandages and all this stuff was covered with a ton of resin for like preservation during the embalming process, and the moisture and humidity and stuff had kind of gotten into and seeped in, and so it pretty much turned everything into this glue so that they couldn't just unwrap the mummy.
Yeah.
They pretty much had to get him out of this like area, they pretty much had to dismember him. Like they had to like make cuts at like joints and stuff and like take out pieces.
Yeah.
But then they do an autopsy, and there were two super weird things that they found about Tutankhamun's mummy. One, it was that he had been mummified without his heart, and also that he had an erect penis.
Okay, wait. I think I knew this.
Did you know this?
I think I did know that fact.
So this was strange for a couple of reasons because one, Egyptians believed that the life essence to the soul uh,
Was the
was in the
penis.
heart, and while other organs were removed from the body, including the brain, the heart was supposed to stay in the mummies. Additionally, the erect penis was super intentional. Like the people intentionally did it, and this was not typical of other mummies they had found. And it was set at like a 90-degree angle and used resin and other things to keep it erect. So it brought up the question, were these done intentionally by those in charge of his preparations? And who was in charge of his preparations? Do you remember?
I.
I. So
Why would I
people,
want him to have an erect penis?
they suggested that I may have done this as a slight to the king for not having produced an heir. So
That's
pretty
fucked
much
up.
a giant fuck you to this boy
That's
king.
so fucked up. Also, can I be buried with an erect penis? I think that'd be really funny. Open
Yeah.
casket, just a raging
Just
boner.
honestly, that'd be so funny.
They're like, what?
What? And you're like, you
No,
didn't
I've told
know?
you what I want, right?
No,
My
what do you
new
want?
thing. I do want an open casket, but I want inside the casket to be a Muppet version of me. Like a puppet of me. And I think that would be so funny. And then it will show who like my real like people who actually love me will come look at me in the casket and then they'll laugh and be like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
I'm not coming to your funeral, sorry.
You don't you'll be dead before me, I think. Let's just be
Way
honest,
to take
Sam.
my joke from me. I was going to say that. I'm going to be dead. Here, the way my lab tests go with the doctor, I'm going to be dead by 30. So
That's that's literally in a couple of months. Don't say that.
you can hope. I can hope.
Connor, you can't
Anyways,
die yet.
moving on. So during all this time, obviously he's an erect penis, all this different stuff. His penis actually breaks off. And
Ah!
guess what? It goes missing. His
How
penis
long
is
was it?
missing.
How long was it?
According to this, it was 12 inches.
You're lying.
I don't know how big his penis
Rasputin's
was.
was 13.
So maybe Rasputin was made
Rasputin had
based
the
off of
biggest
King Tut.
penis.
No, so his penis is missing, and I think
Still?
some English fuck probably stole it and then ate it. You know how they used to eat
Ew, what
mummies?
the hell?
Did
Why
you know
would
they
they
used to eat
eat it?
mummies? They used to eat mummies. They used to think that like if you ground up mummies and like put it in stuff, it was good for your health.
I have not heard that before.
You didn't know that? No, that was like one of the big things. That's why there's so few
Ew.
mummies in the world, is because the
Listen,
English ate them.
maybe that's why Carter's still alive. He
Who?
survived the curse because he ate the penis.
He ate the penis. It was like the antidote.
Him and the daughter shared the penis.
Yes. Yes. We solved
Guys,
it.
you want to survive a
If you
curse?
want to
Eat a
curse, eat a
penis.
penis. Anyway, we solved everything.
Solved. Mystery solved.
Etsy wishes, can you back Etsy wishes?
Yeah.
Etsy witches, can you back us up on that? If you
Yeah.
eat a penis, does that just like
Solve the
negate
Pharaoh's
everything?
curse.
So, anyway, now we're jumping ahead a little bit. We're jumping to 1968. They
Okay.
decide they want to use X-rays to see what they could find on King Tut's.
Am I gonna like incinerate the body?
No, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm
I
I'm
am.
not even. Oh, okay. You tell me. Did it incinerate his body?
Yes.
Okay. That's what happened to his penis. It was obviously right at his penis and it just like disintegrated. So, Ronald Harrison takes these x-rays. Who is this guy? I don't remember. He takes x-rays and they find a thin piece of bone that he says is consistent with if there was a massive blow to the back of King Tut's head, aka he was murdered. Another examination also found that there were some pieces of his skull rattling around inside of his skull that would have been caused from this trauma to his head. It took a couple years. People were talking about it. People decided to repeat when he found these, it didn't immediately take off that King Tut was murdered. It actually was like one of those things where someone then like rephrased what he did, and then that went viral, and everyone was talking about the murder of King Tut. However, in 2002, this is the first time that an Egyptian man, doctor, scientist, was actually going to be able to examine King Tut instead of the British. Again, why 2002? Some bullshit.
9/11, probably.
What? You think that the British would not do that? Anyway, Zahi Hawes decides that he's going to do some more x-rays, CT scans, and some DNA analysis. And what they found was actually really shocking. They found that there was no head injury in King Tut's skull.
They lied?
No, Harrison, the previous x-rayer, took the x-rays at a bad angle, which led to just an anomaly.
The British literally can't do anything.
So, however, during this analysis, no. So during this analysis, when they first began their work on doing all these tests on the mummy, a huge dust storm picked up in the Valley of the Kings, knocking out the power as they went to go do this autopsy and all these tests. So was that the curse? But they got the power back on and they were able to do the tests. So was King Tut murdered? Did he leave a curse to protect his tomb, or was he angry for being disturbed? What do you think?
I think he was murdered.
Okay. By Eye and Harambe?
Not Harambe, just Eye.
You don't think just Eye?
No, I think Harambe was actually really nice.
Let me tell you, I don't think he was when he was
Pharaoh. He was.
Okay, yeah.
And I think he was really nice to, what's her face? Ankycinnamon or Ankycinnamon.
Ankycinnamon.
I think he actually really loved her.
They
weren't married? He was the pharaoh, I thought.
No, Anke was married to Eye.
Yeah, but then Eye died and then Harambe came.
Yeah, while Eye was pharaoh, Anke is lost to history. We don't know what happened to her.
Well, I think Anke and Harambe were lovers.
Let me tell
you, I think Harambe was a really good guy. Okay. I do think Eye was evil, though, and he murdered Tootandcockin.
Yeah.
He hit him in the back of the head with a scepter. Uh-huh. He hit him in the back of the head and then broke his leg. Because remember?
That's crazy.
Leg fracture.
Yeah. That's crazy. I feel like you were like channeling, like you were just seeing it happen just now.
You just spoke to me.
The kind of way you were like looking off. It's like you were having a vision. Man,
I did.
You just solved
and I
the murder.
do think there was a curse because Tootandcockin was like, they murdered me. Fuck these guys. I'm gonna put a curse. And to really slight them, the only way to break the curse is to eat my penis.
You know what? It all makes sense to me.
Right?
So, I think...
Because I would never do that. I would never eat his penis because he's too prideful. And so, he was fucked.
Okay, yeah. Were you going to be cursed? Why would you never eat his penis? I'm confused.
No, I.
Okay, I would
never
have never eaten his penis.
Penis because he was too prideful and homophobic.
Because he was still mad that he changed his name to Tootandcockin.
He was like, ugh.
He's like, I was Tootandcockin, now I'm Tootandcommon, and now I want to be Tootandcockin, and I was like, that's too far. You're gonna be killed.
Yeah, you're dead.
You're dead.
Because listen, I also had like a weird thing for Ankycinnamon, like Jafar and Jasmine.
Yeah.
So he was like, I want to be with her.
I want to be.
It was really creepy vibes.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%.
I'm glad we were able to solve this. What do you think?
With just a couple... Hold on. Let me read what I was going to finish first. So,
we're not...
we're pretty much done, but okay. I have the 2 paragraphs. Looking at the data of those involved with the project... Oh, so this is where I was going to talk about the curse. Looking at the data involved with those in the project, the death toll was not as crazy as it may have sounded. Of the first 25 individuals in the tomb, Lord Carnarvon was the only one to die. Of the 50 on the excursion, only 8 died within the next 10 years. So really only 9 of 58 people died within a decade, which isn't that crazy. So, but then I wrote,
Still,
while
9 people.
I know, right? Maybe. So I did write, while there's likely no curse from the pharaoh, and he maybe was not murdered, I think it's likely to believe that he was a young ruler, that he was surrounded by those that wanted to take advantage of him for their own gain. I think it's poetic that his 2 successors that tried to erase him from history failed, and despite being lost to time for 3,200 years, he is now probably one of the most famous pharaohs Egypt has ever given us.
That's so true, because I didn't know who Ai and Harambe were before this, but I did know who Tutankhamun was.
I know. And so think about those two tried to erase him.
That was really beautiful, Connor. You wrote that all by yourself?
I did.
Wow.
So
guys,
that was literally me at 2 a.m. That was me at 2 a.m. literally being like, I'm gonna cry.
He's
right?
like crying. He's like, they tried to tear him down.
They tried to tear him down. They tried to erase him. This 18-year-old kid that was killed after 10 years of reign, and now he's the most famous pharaoh. I mean, who everyone knows, King Tut.
Is King Tut the one where like the Smithsonian was like, here's what King Tut probably sounded like, and it was like the weirdest. It was like the weirdest noise ever, and everyone's like, wow.
Should I try to find that video? No, I'd probably get copyrighted if we try to put it in.
It literally was like, like
it literally, you were gonna think it was gonna be like they like did something to him for him to be like, hi, I'm doing whatever, and then it's literally like,
it's just him screaming from the grave, honestly. He's like,
it's I. He's just saying I over again. He's not saying I like me.
Harambe.
Harambe, please. Anyways, yes, it was King Tut because they like used like their vocal cords and then they like shoved air through it or something. I don't know.
Smithsonian was crazy for that.
I want to go look at that right now.
Maybe they have too much funding.
I don't think you should say that.
No. I take that back because you know who might hear.
Here's the problem. Is the Smithsonian even in the U.S.? I don't know. Yeah, that's in New York, right?
It's in New York.
I don't know. I feel like it was maybe the British Museum. You know, isn't it like the British Museum holds like 90% of like Egyptian and Greek things, and they should give it all back to them?
It's not fair. I want to go see Egypt stuff.
I want to go to Egypt so bad.
Same.
Like,
I'm jealous of like people who got to go before stuff went to shit.
Yeah, everything's crazy over there.
Like, I would not want to go right now.
I would still go right now if I could. If like money was no object, I would go. I would go and I'd ask a bunch of locals to take me to do stuff, and then if I had a bunch of money, I'd pay them really good.
I can't remember if my mom went. She went to Jerusalem.
I really want to do, like, I would do everything. Like, you know that thing where you have to, like, go out into the desert, but then there's, like, the temples built into the...
Yeah.
Have you seen the pictures of that? I want to do, like, that and everything.
That would be cool. But, yeah, it's expensive.
I was looking at one point at just, like, flights to Cairo and stuff, and they're so expensive. I'm like, why are certain cities so much more expensive than... I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's cool. It's Egypt.
Also, this is so random, and maybe this doesn't need to be in the podcast, but Air New Zealand is starting a new thing where they have, like, bunk beds, and you could pay to sleep in the bunk bed for, like, they only do, like, 4-hour time slots.
That's awesome.
But I'm like, bro,
do they, like, change the sheets and stuff, though?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I'm like, I would do that.
That picture when we were flying home and I had like taken like a Xanax, and so literally my pupils look like they're dilated. I don't know why. I felt like I looked like a fucking drug addict, and we were just stuck on the tarmac, and I'm like literally about to crash out, and my eyes are like,
yeah, that was a rough flight, TBH.
I blocked it all out. I don't remember any
Well,
of it.
you slept most of the time, and then you were like, "It's okay, Avalon, you can sleep on my shoulder." But guess what? He did not let me do that. So
Did
Avalon
I
did
not?
not sleep. No, every time I did, you would move, and it pissed me off. And I was in the middle seat, so I couldn't sleep on the other dude.
It was mean of me. I'm sorry.
So I just watched movies the whole flight.
Hey, I had to do that my first time coming back, so it's like a rite of passage. So
Okay.
it was crazy. Also, I'm gonna
Anyway,
go kill myself.
no, come here. That's not what Tootandcockin would want.
I'm overwhelmed. He got to die by 18. He gets no say. I wish that had been me.
Anyways, I enjoyed this.
Thank you. It was a
History
little bit
lesson.
more all over the place because I
No, I
no,
thought it
it
was
really
structured.
was. It no, I mean, I feel like my Cleopatra one, I feel like I had dialed in really well. This one, I just the past week, one, I've been so overwhelmed with things, and then also I've lost all will to do anything. So I like I couldn't bring myself to do again. I'm I was doing things really well, like staying on top of things and like, oh, I want to get this done, and now it's like, unless it has to be done by tomorrow, I'm not doing it today.
I see, I see. Well, thank you for completing it, and because I enjoyed listening,
Thank you.
and I hope all of us learned something new today. Um, but yeah,
Also, Happy Pride Month. What's her face say?
hi, gay.
No, what she what does she take? She turns and she goes, Happy Pride Month, and she like looks in the camera and is like,
Ew.
hold on, Brittany Broski with
Oh, yeah.
that's what I was doing.
Queen.
And then she looks in the camera and she's like, I was just thinking, what happens in June? June.
Okay.
Anything else happen in June? Happy Juneteenth coming up.
Happy Juneteenth. Happy Ariana Grande.
Happy Ariana Grande.
Happy.
Happy.
I'm having a girls' trip.
Ooh. Happy. I'm coming down. I mean, we're going to the concert, but I'm coming down for 3 days. So, 2 days.
We're gonna go ghost hunting, guys. We're gonna go ghost hunting, and we're gonna live stream it.
Hell yeah.
And
And then
also,
I
I
also
told
want to do
Kaylee
I
about
want to do the
baking
cook.
thing.
Was she into it?
Yeah, she was so
Okay.
down. She
Okay.
says she wants to be. I think she said she wants to be the one blindfolded. I don't remember.
All I know is I decided I'm the one that can't speak because I
Yeah,
don't trust you two not to speak. Yeah.
yeah.
You guys can
No,
pick the
I
other
think it will
ones.
be good.
So, and I also think I'll get really frustrated not being able to speak,
Yeah,
but I trust myself not to do it.
yeah. We'll duct tape your
So,
mouth if we have to.
I think we should anyway.
Yeah,
Just
just to
for
be funny.
anything else? I'm
I don't
trying.
think so. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for everyone that always tunes into our lives. If you don't tune
Oh,
into our
shout out
lives,
to
you better.
our best friend Diana. She was our 100th follower on Instagram. Did you see she commented that?
I didn't see
She was our
that.
100th follower on Instagram.
Diana, I love you. I hope you're listening to this.
I don't know if she listens to our episodes, but she
That's
shows up
fine.
to our
She
lives.
shows up to our lives, which not all of you do. So do it, because you don't want to see me.
You don't want to see us go alpha.
Yeah. Well, alpha all over your ass. Ew. Anyway, follow us on all our things. We're Snacks and Tinfoil Hats on everything. On Twitch, on Kick, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Spotify.
No, on Spotify, you just search Conspiracy Snack. You just search the name of our podcast.
Conspiracy
There's no
Snacks
like
and
app.
Tinfoil Hats. But yeah, follow us everywhere. We usually go live on Wednesdays. If it changes, we'll let you know. And yeah, if we go missing, blame
I Tootandcockin.
Tootandcockin, Harambe, Honey. What was her name?
Ankycinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Blame them all.
Blame them all. Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.